is just laying waste to Hillary Clinton because he wants to not.
I'm sorry. I want us to look back at the Romney campaign against Obama. I truly think in my heart, if he would have been more aggressive, I saw everybody sitting on their hands during that whole campaign, and it was so frustrating. And I made a pledge to myself. I will not do that this election. And that's why this show is so important to me. I don't want to get on here and complain about other candidates so much, but I want everybody out there to know we are going to fight. We're going to fight for our candidates. I'm fighting for Trump. A lot of people are fighting for Trump. Fight for your candidate, and don't worry about the punches until the nomination is over with. Let's get it on. Let's do our thing. Let's support the guy that we want to support, and don't let anybody tell you not to fight. Don't let anybody tell you to shake hands until the fight's over with. Don't tap out until you can't breathe. That's the way I'm looking at this. This is a fight. This is a real fight for the country, and I think we're going to kick Hillary or the other old guy. I won't even say his name, but I think Republicans are going to kick that butt this year.
Come on now, you don't want to be an ageist.
Right.
Hey,
Trump's pretty old too, man. It's not an age thing. It's a confidence thing, and I don't think the socialist is going to be what we need in this country.
Well, I know we got started a little bit late because of the internet here on my end, but got a question for you.
Okay.
Roland, we'll be right back.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. Then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-616-8010. That's 1-800-616-8010. Again, 1-800-616-8010. Call now.
Did you ever look at the stains in your coffee cup and then realize that's exactly what happens to your teeth? Power Swabs is the 5-minute solution to get your teeth white without visiting the dentist. This is Ben Gordon with Power Swabs, and if your teeth are stained from coffee, tea, or smoking, all it takes is 5 minutes with Power Swabs. In 5 minutes, you'll see an average of 2 shades whiter teeth, and in 7 days, 6 shades. It's clinically proven to whiten natural teeth as well as caps and veneers. The secret is a tooth detergent that was developed by Dr. Martin Ginniger that lifts stains off of your teeth. Best of all, there's no messy strips or trays that you have to leave in your mouth for an hour. Just swab your teeth for 5 minutes and you're done. To try Power Swabs risk-free, call 1-800-291-5140. That's 1-800-291-5140. I guarantee your bright white smile will have your friends talking about how great you look. Try it risk-free today. 1-800-291-5140. That's 1-800-291-5140.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
Start training for a new career in as little as 18 days. National EMS Institute's innovative boot camp program will train you for a new career. Learn to respond to emergency situations and become a certified EMT in just 18 days. National EMS Institute guarantees 100% job placement. Visit www.nationaleMSinstitute.com today to learn more about our 18-day boot camp. Or call us at 1-800-497-6732. NationalEMSInstitute.com.
When you're ready to take the edge off a hectic day, I suggest you start with a little music from Franz Black.
I guess there's lots of ways to look at things that don't seem right.
No Worries has just been released on iTunes and Amazon.
It's gonna be alright.
You can find Franz Black and his music on his website, franzblack.com. Franz Black.com.
It's gonna be alright.
Bring the rain.
603-835-3224. If you wish to speak to yours truly, your lovable host, El Rod, here on the Rod Eccles Show. We are rolling along. And, you know, I got to tell you, one of the things, I was sitting here, actually it was last night, and I was thinking about how much fun that this program is. And you guys make it more fun when you call in and we can interact. It makes it so much more fun. With that, let's get back to our caller. And
hey, I'm here.
I got a call, or I got a question for you.
Okay.
And this is about Trump. And
okay.
Now, first of all, I want everybody to realize, no, I have not endorsed anyone, and I am at this particular juncture, I still have not made up my mind. And
all right.
There are a lot of people like me that are still sitting on the fence. Now we're getting to the point. Now I have my leanings, and obviously obviously people know that there are candidates that I'm not going to vote. But there are folks that I'm leaning towards, and there's this whole notion about, well, can this candidate win? Can they beat the Democrat and be the president, or can this candidate has a better shot of doing that? My question is this: there are a lot of people like me who are still out there on the fence for the Republican primary, and the primaries are going to be here in about 2-3 weeks now. So it's closing pretty fast.
Right.
Now, why is it exactly? Because you see all these stupid polls. They're all over the place, and I don't pay attention to polls, but other people do. There's a poll that says that Hillary beats Trump. There's a poll that even says that Sanders beats Trump. But then there's a poll that says opposite, and there's a poll that says that Cruz can't beat Sanders, but he can beat Hillary, and it's all over the place. My question to you is Do you really, honestly believe that, one, Trump can, now we're talking going against the establishment here, that Trump can actually get through this process over the next 3 months through Super Tuesday, garner the nomination? Do you think the GOP would back him?
Yes. Yes, I do. And the reason I say that is because once the folks start showing up at the polls, I mean, or not the polls, but the caucus in Iowa, and start showing their strength for their candidate, I think the GOP has no other choice. I think right now the reason a lot of the polls are all over the place is because mainstream media has so much involvement, and I know you talk about that a lot. They have so much involvement in the process that we really don't know what the heck's going on until folks get out to their caucus or to their, I'm in North Carolina, so, we go out and actually vote. But until that process happens, I don't think the polls are going to, really show us much. But as far as the GOP getting behind him, I don't think they have a choice. Either that's going to happen or the entire GOP is going to start breaking down, because it's happened along this past since 2012 or 2010 actually, when you started seeing all these different senators and governors being elected as far as Republicans, and then what we have today when we look at Obamacare and the whole 9 yards with the immigration and everything, they have let us down so bad, man, that the people are going to take over this process and just get out there and push our way through. That's what we have to do as citizens, as voters, and I think Trump has that strength. And I hope you go his side. It's your choice, Rod, but I'm hoping you lean that way, man. We feel good about you, and if we need to bribe you somehow, just let me know. I've got a couple bucks. So.
Well, don't. I just tell people don't despair, because often it takes me a while, simply because I'm a very logical and methodical type of person, and I want to make sure that I hear everything I can possibly hear from the candidates by the time, just before I pull that lever. So I often, it doesn't matter what the race is, if it's presidential, local contest, often wait until that last day, the day before, to make my decision, because I want to make sure that I've got all the information that I'm making. And this is something that people who can make their choice earlier, I applaud you. And I'm not condemning anybody for doing that. What I have a problem with is people usually jump on this, hard bandwagon even before the candidate gets in. And as soon as the candidate gets in, yeah, he's the only guy. He's the only guy. And I'm like, really? You haven't said yet. But and I know that plenty has been said. So there isn't a lot new coming out of these people right now, because everything's, their platforms have been established. But I'm looking for I'm looking at other things about how they handle themselves and that type of thing. And frankly, I'm quite surprised about Donald Trump. Now, as I've told people before, I have followed Trump since, back in the 80s, and knowing who the man is, I got to tell you, Trump today on the stump is really a very self-monitored new politician, and I don't mean that in a negative way.
Right.
He is not the self-aggrandizing, totally bombastic person that people come to know. That persona of him that they've come to know from his real estate dealings and his business. He is a more measured person on the stump, and a lot of people are saying this is really who Donald Trump is. What you see before is the showman. I know people are saying, well, see, he's not being genuine and real. I'm like, really? We've had actors become presidents and senators, and nobody ever said that about them. Well, they said that about Ronald Reagan, that you can't act your way to presidency, but evidently Oscar for 8 years, right? He did such a good
right.
So this is I understand, because I've read some of his books and I see the different side. Donald Trump, and I've watched him through this campaign, and I'm very impressed with him. I really now. I know people are trying to say, well, he's not a real conservative. Hardly any of these guys are. I want to get down to brass tacks.
Right.
But you got to find. I know there are people that always tend to be, and I always blast people who are one issue people. I think, okay, fine. What if he gets in office in the first 90 days, first 100 days, he gets that one issue taken care of to your satisfaction, it's done. Now, what about the rest of the can't be a one issue person with a candidate, especially when it comes to senator, congressman, or president. You're electing them for 2, 4, or 6 years. They're going to be there for a very long period of time after that one issue is over. I don't see Trump as a one-issue person. He had a number of things that he has brought about that he firmly believes in, as has Cruz, as most of the other candidates, and I get that. So I can't decide on one particular issue. Now, we're worried about the economy. We're worried about Obamacare, how to get rid of it. I know people are constantly want to repeal loan. But there is one. Now, speaking of that, there is one aspect. Now, I haven't heard Trump really weigh in about Obamacare, and I don't think he's really been asked too often. Now, I know in the past he has said that he thought it was a good idea, and then after thought it was a bad idea because law was written poorly. So, did I miss exactly where he's standing on that?
Well, this is my belief right here. Trump is a real quick learner. He takes things in and digests things, just like you're talking about, needing to wait a while to pick your candidate. Well, I think he does that with issues. And when he finally digests all the information about things like Obamacare and that type of thing, I think that's when he's ready to talk about it. But, Obamacare has been, beat like a rented mule. And the Republicans have really raised a fuss about it constantly, and it needs to be repealed and replaced. But talking about it is not going to do it. So until it's decided what can be done by a group of Republicans that actually want to work together, Trump speaking about it, he says a lot of times on there, I'm going to replace it. But if you give out too many details, it just gives vultures a chance to fly down and pick at you. And I think that's the reason you don't hear a lot of really, really deep details with Trump. He knows that if you put your flesh out there, it's going to be eaten by the vultures, the wolves, whatever. They're going to tear you apart. And he's not the type that puts himself out there to be criticized for no reason.
Yeah, I get they all do that. I get nobody.
Right.
I know they've been trying to criticize it that no detail. They all have the same. They all have the title and the basic premise of that particular idea for that particular plank in the platform. But there's no detail, and I understand, and I've mentioned that before on the show. You cannot give complete and full detail. Unless you're the president. If you're the incumbent running for re-election and you have planks in your platform, you can give detail. Nobody else can give detail simply for the fact they do not have all the presidential information. And that's why he can't. I mean, he can say, I'm going to build this wall. And I love him for that. I'm going to build a wall. Now, that's a generalized statement in his plank in his platform, saying he's gonna close down the border. Now, he can't give a detail about exactly how he's going to do it. because he's not privy to the information that's necessary for the president to be able to move forward on such a decision. So once he's elected and he's got that plank, then he can drill down in that plank and say, okay, well, this is what I'm allowed to do. This is where the money is. How the design has been established, because he hasn't designed. But, maybe there's already a design. So he can see the design and say, okay, that looks good. Let's do that one. Or no, let's go back to the drawing board and come up with some. You can't give details until you have the details. And when you're on the stump, trying to get elected, you're not the president. You're not holding that particular office, whatever it is. So you're not privy to all the information in order to give the details. And you're absolutely right. This is why they do not give such detailed answers, because they don't have the information. And people who are against them will start picking them apart, especially if there's an incumbent. Now, the advantage for the Democrats is that they have the incumbent. And if Trump or Cruz or Carson or Rubio starts coming out with details, all they have to do on the other side is say, well, the president can give them all the information on the other side, and they can. They don't know anything. They think they can do this, right. But the truth is this, this, and this. And we know because, hey, we're the party in power right now, and Obama tells us that this is what's going on. So that's why they can't. That's why I really get incensed when people start saying, well, give me details. Well, you can't.
Right. I mean, you don't want to lay your blueprint for success out there for somebody else to copy either. I mean, you don't want to put things out there and somebody, okay, I heard what Trump said. They can say, I heard what Trump said. Well, I don't like the way he said it, but if we do it my way, it'll be better. So, details will come eventually with a lot of things, but it's just like Trump says a lot of times, when Obama goes and says, I'm pulling out of Iraq next month. Well, hell, every person in the world knows it now. So let's let the Taliban, ISIS, whoever, let's let them go ahead and know what's going on, so they'll be heads up on it too. And, that's a big failure. That's a big failure. And I know that's my extreme version of what goes on, but, don't tell everybody your secrets. Keep some stuff close to you, and trust but verify, as Reagan said. And I don't like quoting Reagan because it's a new age we're living in, and a lot of folks don't even know who Reagan was, a lot of young folks. But they will know who Trump is, and they will learn to love Trump, I believe, just like Sarah Palin said yesterday. The more you get to know him, the more you like him, and the more it's just picking a candidate's a gut feeling too. It's a heart and a gut feeling. You have to have that feeling inside, that adrenaline you get when you hear him speak or whatever, and not to be mushy, but you have to have your heart in it before you do the ballot. I mean, you just have to have your heart in it.
Well, my friend, I thank you once again for your wonderful call. You did another great job.
Thank you, Rod. And man, the folks out here, we love you, and can't wait till you have Chris Peranto on there. And I'll talk to you later, buddy.
All right, talk to you later. Thank you. Bye-bye. One of the things is like I said, I like Trump. I like that he. Look, I've said it before. I love the fact, even if he didn't end up getting the nomination, that he was hanging in there and that he was just in the primary and in the first place, because he upset multiple political apple carts. I mean, this guy Trump is just. Look at it this way. No, not that he thinks. Now, I want people to pay attention to what I'm saying here. Not that Donald Trump is anything like, politically speaking, like Ronald Reagan. But it is plausible that Donald Trump is the Reagan for our time. Now, it has been a long time. What has it been now? 30 years. That's a generation. Reagan is now a generation removed. So obviously, you got the millennials. There are a whole new crop of young people that were either very, very young babies or weren't even born yet when Reagan was in office. I'm talking his second term and his first term. Just, 30 years ago was what, 86? We're getting into the latter days of Reagan's administration. So you're born in 86, don't know what the hell is going on. By the time he gets out of office, you're still not even in kindergarten yet. So Reagan is now a generation removed. So we have millennials, those under 30, 35, that really don't know who he is because they're not being taught in school about him. That's for sure. We know that's for sure. Except for the fact that, the revisionist history, whatever is being taught is a revisionist negative history. And some of these kids today, they think Reagan was terrible. And when you try to press them and trying to get the answer of why do you think he's terrible, and their answers, you're like, where did you get that? That's not Reagan. I've even heard some millennials ascribe things that happened during his tenure as president that actually happened under Jimmy Carter. So I know our educational system is trying to rewrite history with the young and trying to tell them that Reagan was not one of the greatest presidents of the 20th century, but he was equivalent of Jimmy Carter. So what we really need to do is, I guess, we really need to make sure that we're educating these people and getting them to start to think, because it just comes back to me the interview that Neil Cavuto did with that one college student and how shallow, sad she was. I mean, it really is. This ignorance is an epidemic. And it's not just ignorance. It's a lack of the ability for those in the millennial age to actually think. Because all that they're really doing is feeling. Now, I understand that, when you're in college, you're young, you have a lot of emotions. You're not sure, haven't fully learned how to control those emotions. For a number of reasons. Trust me, it's not biological, by the way. No, because human beings are quite capable of growing up and maturing quite early. Have to. Today we want to extend adolescence, and this is parents. This is part of the baby boomer problem too. Parents not wanting to grow up either. Now, this is a whole new topic. And the good Lord just put this on me right now. And I got to tell you, I'm going to have to get to this during the next, go straight through into the next, after the next. Because this is important. I want you to think about this seriously. What we have right now is we've got the baby boomer generation that has raised the millennials. They've had the millennials and they've raised them. Now, the baby boomer generation, if you understand who they are and what they did, they're the 60s flower children. They're the ones that went to Woodstock. Peace, love, and understanding, and let's do heroin and, not heroin, but they did LSD and all kind of other old-fashioned, old-time drugs that some of them are making a comeback right now. But they did all that wonderful stuff. Flower children. They were against the war in Vietnam, and they were part of the reason that some of the Vietnam vets are so messed up today, because they came back and they were spat upon at the airports and bus stations and called baby killers and all that stuff. And now those are the people that are getting ready to retire, that raised what we're calling the millennials. Now, the problem is the baby boomers are also the first generation that wants to live forever. They didn't want to get old. All of this explosion about products and services to try to keep people young came about and was catered directly to the baby boomers from the 80s, 90s into today. They didn't want to grow up. They don't want to grow old. And one of the ways that you don't grow old is by having kids and keeping your kids. So we have been coddling our kids, this new millennial generation, far beyond the point where previous generations stopped. You got into high school, the greatest generation, World War II, my parents and previous generations, you got into high school and a little bit before high school. Hey, now you're, bar mitzvah, 13, now you're a man. Bat mitzvah, 13, now you're a woman. You got to start acting like that. Today, oh my God, we got them at 18 years old, and they're still coddled little children. They're still children. They're not adults. We don't go through this adult, transition program anymore. We don't do bar mitzvahs or anything like that. Well, the Jewish community still does a little bit, but we don't do bar mitzvahs and bat mitzvahs or and things like that to usher them into manhood and womanhood. We say, 16? No. We want to extend youth far beyond what is practical. Kids get into college at 18, 19, 20 years old. They're still acting like they're freshmen. We'll be right back with this one. Trust me, I'm not done yet.
Give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Sign him up for the Box of Bait Club and he'll never be hungry again. The Box of Bait Club is a brand new dream come true for every fisherman. Something new and different in your tackle box every month. Every month, another excuse to get outside and do what you love. Don't let this one get away. The Box of Bait Club is currently accepting a limited number of pre-orders with subscriptions starting at $39.95 per month. Find out more now. Log on to boxofbaitclub.com.
I'm just so happy my father had a chance to see his kids before he passed. I just want to say thank you.
When her father fell ill, the American Red Cross was able to help get Veronica's brother home from the Navy to speak to his father one last time. It's thanks to your donations that we can connect military families when they need it most. Please donate today at redcross.org.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. And then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-616-8010. That's 1-800-616-8010. Again, 1-800-616-8010. Call now.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich? Working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare? Having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom133.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom133.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom133.com. Go to freedom133.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom133.com.
Attention business owners. We know that owning a business means getting things done right now. So if your right now list includes a new building, call the Right Now Company. General Steel. We can design a building for your business quickly and save you thousands of dollars. That's right, thousands. You may think General Steel only builds large projects or that you can't afford General Steel quality. Well, check these prices. How about a 40 by 60 foot building for under $22,000? Or even a 50 by 100 for under $35,000? That's right, a 5,000 square foot building for under $35,000. And these buildings all have General Steel quality. Best of all, you can still order a building and have it delivered in time to build this year. How's that for right now? So if your right now list includes a new building, call the Right Now Company, General Steel.
800-393-5756. 800-393-5756. 800-393-5756. That's 800-393-5756.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
Boy, man, I had a rough night's sleep. Boy, I got a letter from the IRS yesterday and I just couldn't sleep. Man, I'm dying here. Somebody help me.
IRS problems affect more than just your finances. If you're ready to take back control of your life and you owe more than $10,000, you need to call the tax doctor. Their expert staff can immediately protect you from the IRS and state collectors and get you the best possible tax settlement guaranteed. The IRS has recently released new programs geared in helping struggling taxpayers, where you may qualify to settle your tax debt and wipe out up to 85% or more of what you currently owe. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, call the tax doctor right now. See if you qualify to pay less. 800-989-1694. 800-989-1694. 800-989-1694. Again, 800-989-1694.
You want to know what time it is? It's time to bring the rain.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
Still coming to you live via my bunkerized home studio somewhere within the great granite state of New Hampshire, even in spite of Comcast. Yeah, Comcast is my highest. Well, I'm not even going to get into that. It is, I'm still located somewhere within the great granite state of New Hampshire, where the state motto is live free or die. I don't plan on leaving anytime soon. I really like this, but I tell other people, especially if you're not a conservative, when you come to New Hampshire, love the beauty, visit, love the beaches. We have got beautiful beaches. I know the water's very frigid. even in late August. Water's very cold, but they're beautiful, clean. The water's clean and crisp. You're not going to find any kind of crud in the water off the coast of Pure Maine. The water's frigid. I jump in the water, I have, and it's frigid. Got to be hardy in order to handle it. And a lot of people, you got a lot of vacationers here during the summer months, and we got a lot of vacationers during the New England is just a beautiful part of the country. It really is. But New Hampshire, we got 18 miles. Some people will laugh. 18 miles of coastline. That's it. 18 miles, and it spans, I think, 4 towns. That's it. And it's simply because the state and how it's, the borders are drawn out. That's all we got is 18 miles. But at least we have some seacoast. There are a lot of states that are landlocked and don't have any seacoast. Well, there are other states that have a lot of seacoast. I know Carolinas have a lot of seacoast, and Florida obviously has a lot. But we don't. We've got 18 miles. New York, actually, state of New York actually does not have a lot of sea. The reason why New York has what some people would say a lot of seacoast is simply because of the island, and that's it. And yeah, I mean it's a very large island. It's huge, and it's an island, so it's surrounded by the sea. So that gives them a lot of seacoast. Of course, you have to go out to like the Hamptons and. But it's there. Most of New York State is pretty much landlocked. Like it's kind of like New Hampshire. If you look at it on a map, there's a small opening at one corner of the state that opens out onto the sea, but blocks a lot of that. So in order to really get to the beach, the sea beaches in New York, you got to go out to the Hamptons or all the way out to Montauk Point and things like that. So New York doesn't have a lot of really sea coast either. The Hudson, have a lot of. New Jersey's got, without New York Island, New Jersey has more sea coast than New York, the state of New York. I know New Jersey's Chris Christie's playground, and I know some people have said, the Jersey beaches, the Jersey Shore is very pretty, but it's still New Jersey. I'd rather just do Massachusetts, and Massachusetts got a lot of sea. Got some really nice beaches. They've got. Horseheads Beach, which is really nice. And the water down there, actually, which southern coast of Massachusetts, Horseheads, water's not nearly as cold as it is. Water is a little bit warmer, more palatable, and it's a small beach. It really is a small. It's like a cove. It's a small beach. Horseheads Beach. Well, it's close to the border with Rhode Island, and it's kind of hidden, but it's really pretty. If you're ever in that area, you might want to check it out. I know a lot of people will go to Provincetown, otherwise known as P-Town, on the Cape. The Cape has got lots of beaches. People make their way up to the point or the tip of the Cape. Provincetown or P-Town, and P-Town has very nice beaches, multiple. I emphasize multiple because P-Town, some people who are not familiar with P-Town, all they'll think about is that P-Town is a gay haven, and there is a lot of gay, homosexual, vacationing there. But the interesting thing is, I've been to P-Town twice. Times I've been to P-Town. P-Town is this mix and dichotomy. It is a family destination, believe it or not. They have family campgrounds, and you're walking in through, and P-Town is very historical, and you'll see families vacationing in Provincetown, and there are activities and businesses and things like that geared towards families. And everything that you might think, oh my God, a bunch of gay guys around, you don't see that. A lot of clubs, they really do. So as is with anywhere, I know it can happen after clubs close. I've worked in them as a bouncer, Boston, and I know what happens in those places. So and I used to go to clubs when I was in my youth back in central New York, and I know what happened then after the clubs closed. So yeah, probably going to have that in P-Town anywhere. But it isn't this lavish gay display that some people have said to me when that doesn't happen there. If it hasn't happened while I was there. Didn't see it. What I did see during the day and on the beach that I went to was families. Great heterosexual families. That's what I saw. I can only report to you what I see. It's P-Town. It takes a long time to get there. It really. I mean, it's not like hours or anything, but the Cape is a lot bigger than it looks, and it's kind of a stop and go, boring drive. If you have to drive there, I'm gonna say I wouldn't really suggest it. To tell you the truth, it is a terrible drive. The second time I went, we took the Boston Harbor. That was a lot better. That also, on the ferry, you're going to arrive at a certain time, you're going to leave at a certain time. So there time ferries over there, so you don't get to stick around and see the nightlife. During the day, P-Town is very much a family establishment, family-oriented vacation town. Water's cold on the beach. Water's cold. There's no debauchery happening on the beaches. I didn't see that at all. I don't know. Again, after the bars close and everybody falls out of the bars and they're drunk, maybe it happens. Families are up and about during the day. It's just like another family resort town. It really. History is very pretty. It really is. I don't know about any place else. Any other places that have this dual life? I don't know. What's New York's got one, right? Not Rikers Island. What's it? There's a place in New York that I understand is the same thing. Or is it in New Jersey? I wouldn't be surprised if it was in New Jersey, actually. But anyway, I would the Fire Island. That's it. Knew I'd remember it. Or is that right? Fire. I don't. If I got it wrong, somebody give me a call. 3-835-3224. Did I miss that? I haven't been there, so I don't know if that's the right place or not. I know a lot of things, but as I tell everybody, I don't know everything. I never act like I know everything. I still learn. I still learn on a daily basis. You could say that in a good way, I'm still growing. No, I'm not. I'm done growing up, but I'm still growing. We have people in this country that are 60 years old and they haven't grown up. Now, with that said, they're 60 years old, they're not grown up, and they're raising kids. And they raise kids who didn't grow up. Now, look, as I was saying in the last segment, you pay attention to this, folks. Understand this. This is what our big problem. When every society has basal or causal problems. You know, the very basal problem, or the problem right on the base, that supports a lot of the other problems that society has. It's just the human condition. We really do. Before I get into my diatribe, finishing that, we got another call here. 347, you're live on the Rod Eccles Show. Go.
I just want to say that I'm a huge Donald Trump fan, and I can't wait to vote for him in New York City.
New York City. Hey, did I get that right about, is there a place in New York called Fire Island?
Yeah, why?
Oh, okay. Now, where is that actually? Is that on the coast, the seacoast?
Yes, it is.
Is that on the big island?
Yeah, I'm actually located in the Bronx, and I have to tell you right now, since the day that Donald Trump has announced his candidacy, everybody in my family and all my friends said, okay, we got to vote for this guy, because we know him personally. He's from New York, and we see all the buildings he's produced and all the jobs he's created, so we know besides what the media will say, we know what this guy can do, and I believe him. I don't trust any of these politicians. They're just all talk, no action, and I've never been this excited before. I'm a Democrat, and I just can't wait to switch and become a Republican or an independent and vote for him.
You're a Democrat, and
yeah.
Ronald Reagan had a lot of what they call the blue dog Democrats voting here, Ronald Reagan Democrats. Now, as I said, I know Donald Trump's business career and history. New York City is his home base. Now, do you think? Because Ted Cruz made a comment about this in the last debate.
Yeah, he
about
did.
New York City, about New York values, and most people around New York and New England knew exactly what he was saying. He wasn't saying upstate New York. He was specifically referring to New York City.
Yes.
And New York City, obviously, you in Brooklyn. You said Brooklyn, right?
No, Bronx.
Bronx. Okay, the other B.
Born and raised, yeah.
So you're living under de Blasio.
Mm-hmm.
And he's very liberal, and some people call him a communist.
He is. And you know what I have to say about that? I mean, what Ted Cruz said about, the liberal ideas and the ideology, I mean, he did have a point. I mean, there's a lot of people in New York City that I feel like it's not even, you can't even blame them, because what do they see on TV? What do they see in the mainstream media? Most of the mainstream media, most of the news channels are liberal stations. So obviously what they see, and basically most of the Democrat supporters, what they usually see are liberal views, and they really don't pay attention to Fox, because the mainstream media is always saying, oh, Fox is not good, and all these celebrities, all these high entertainers are always forcing their supporters' views on liberal views, and I mean, it's just not right for me. I'm just looking at it as a realist here. I see a businessman who has succeeded, who's not a politician, who's not getting any money from other people, and I really believe he doesn't even have to do this. That's one of the main reasons why I like Donald Trump. He doesn't have to do this. He could just be relaxing with his wife, his kids, and just having a good life. But he decides to devote his time into helping America, and that's the end of the day. That's what truly matters. All these other politicians are just running because they have to represent their field. I'm not voting for Donald Trump because he's a Republican. I'm voting for Donald Trump because he's Donald Trump. That's the main reason.
You trust that he will do what he say?
Yes.
Trump tried to get it done.
100%. Just look through his record. It's not. I mean, we could look at those whole bankruptcies, which that's what's so funny. Even I love him so much because even though hundreds of deals, many buildings he's produced, many companies he's made, they always talk about the 4 bankruptcies that he's had.
Well,
and that's just so sad.
It is, and I have to remind people that Donald Trump has never filed personal bankruptcy. Those are business bankruptcies, and what people don't understand about business bankruptcy is that there are 2 different kinds. There's the kind that liquidates the company goes out of business and gets liquidated. But the other kind, which is used quite often, is called reorganization, and that is a way to use the legal system to force creditors to renegotiate when they wouldn't renegotiate before. That's why a lot of companies do the bankruptcy route. It isn't because the company isn't viable anymore, but there are aspects of it that needed to be renegotiated, and the creditors and people who invest do not want to be flexible. And if they are not flexible and renegotiate, then the company is going to go out of business and liquidate. So this is a form of the bankruptcy code that is used by businesses all over the country a lot.
Yeah. Which
And
most
Donald
people
Trump
don't even know. They don't hear this side. They don't even
they don't
understand anything.
You're absolutely right. But see, but Donald could actually, and he knows how to do this, but he could actually turn that around and simply saying, look, out of all of these deals that I have done over my entire career, hundreds of them, like you said, I've only needed to force people to renegotiate with me 4 times. You know what that says about my negotiation skills? Who else can match that?
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, that's really amazing.
I don't need to spin a positive on it, but that's the logical reality of it. And so you're definitely you're a Brooklynite or Bronxer. I'm sorry. And you're ready and Democrat, and you're born and raised. Anybody else in your family looking at Trump, or is it just you?
Oh, I mean, everybody in my family. See, we started off. See, I've always been in politics, and but my view on politics has usually been what my mom, view was, and she came to this country as an immigrant, She came here legally, And she usually tends to be on the liberal side because, I don't know, for some reason she believes that the Republicans didn't care about the, low class or middle class. So she tended to look on the Democratic side because she believed they supported them more, which they obviously don't. But yeah, and the reason why we voted for Barack Obama because this was like a historic moment for us, because we're African American, and this was a huge step. And we fell for the trap. Like we really thought change was going to happen. He was going to be a unifier. Instead, he's not. But yeah, and then once we saw Trump, we bought his book. We bought it all the deal. We recently bought his book, Corporate America, and we was reading and was like, wow, this guy. I mean, and we saw his TV shows, The Apprentice, all of this success, and we thought about it. It was like, this is the only candidate that can truly get things done. I mean, he's been doing this all his life.
So
he's been doing this all his life. This is what we need.
So you were raised a Democrat from an immigrant parent. Where is she from? Where's your mom from?
Excuse me?
Where's your mom from?
Oh, my mom was born in Ghana, West Africa.
Okay. All right. So you come from from Africa, and
my mom was born in Ghana. My dad was born here in the Bronx.
You were also born in the Bronx.
Yes, I was.
So you were basically born and raised Democratic, a Democrat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then during this, and your family voted for Barack Obama.
Yes.
Are you? How old are you? Were you old enough to vote for Barack?
Oh yes, I voted for Barack. I'm actually 22 right now.
Okay.
I voted for Barack.
So his second term, you were able to vote, and you voted for Barack. And now you're saying
the first term. Oh yes, yeah. The second time I voted for Barack. Yeah, that's right.
So now you're looking at is your mom making the change too? Are your parents making?
Oh
the
yeah,
change?
my whole family. Once I told her, one day I said, Mom, do you know that that Donald Trump is running for president? She was like, what? And then she just dropped her bag and started celebrating because she's been here for a while and she worked in Manhattan, upstate Manhattan, and I'm not sure if she worked in the Trump Hotel exactly, but she obviously knows Donald Trump and she knows personally like the type of person he is and the type of charities he's given to other families, and I trust her. I trust her personal experience. She personally told me that Donald Trump is really a good person. He's not an elitist. Like, even though he's worth billions and billions of dollars, he still cares so much about the middle class and the working class and the people who actually work so hard for their money. Like, he respects that.
Now, do a lot of your friends feel the same way that you do?
See, I it's funny because I actually go to UB, University of Buffalo State, and during my first semester, my friends used to always tease me, like, oh, my God, why are you watching Donald Trump? Why are you watching Donald Trump? He calls Mexicans rapists, all this stuff. And it's funny. In the first few weeks, I didn't say anything, and I just kept watching it, and I kept asking them, so who are you guys interested in? And they said, I don't know. Maybe Bernie Sanders. I said, why? And they said, because free college, free this, free that. I'm like, and I asked them, do you know how he's going to get all those free stuff? And then they said, I don't know. So what I got out of that was that most people don't really get it. Like, they really don't understand how things work in this world. Like, they just like being given things so much over time. I feel like it just stuck with them. But then I realized, okay, let me help my friends out. Let me try to convince them. And at the end of the day, my whole swing, man, I kept talking to them, showing them his success, showing them his videos, his speeches, and they were convinced. Right from the first speech when he was in Alabama with like 25,000 people, and they were watching the speech with me, and they were like, oh my God, okay, this guy is so real. He's so, efficient. And I was like, we have to vote for him. Because he's just real. He just says it like it is. There's no teleprompters. There's no speech written. He just says it from the heart, and he says it from the heart.
So you've gotten some converts over in Buffalo.
Oh, definitely. I'm not saying everybody in UB is a Donald Trump supporter, but most people who aren't Donald Trump supporters don't know anything about him, and the only thing they see is the corrupt media, like as MSNBC, CNN, always bashing him left and right every single time.
It's
so
true.
That's usually what they see. They don't see the other side.
All I can say is that, first of all, you're a great call. Second is that, I'm glad that there are some young people out there, college age, like yourself, starting to actually use their head. I hate to cut you off, but I'm hard up against a hard break here. But do tell your friends about it and give me a call again. Thanks for the call.
I definitely do that. Thank you for taking your time. Thank you.
Caller made me look awesome. We'll be right back.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. And then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-616-8010. That's 1-800-616-8010. Again, 1-800-616-8010. Call now.
Did you ever look at the stains in your coffee cup and then realize that's exactly what happens to your teeth? Power Swabs is the 5-minute solution to get your teeth white without visiting the dentist. This is Ben Gordon with Power Swabs, and if your teeth are stained from coffee, tea, or smoking, all it takes is 5 minutes with Power Swabs. In 5 minutes, you'll see an average of 2 shades whiter teeth, and in 7 days, 6 shades. It's clinically proven to whiten natural teeth as well as caps and veneers. The secret is a tooth detergent that was developed by Dr. Martin Ginniger that lifts stains off of your teeth. Best of all, there's no messy strips or trays that you have to leave in your mouth for an hour. Just swab your teeth for 5 minutes and you're done. To try Power Swabs risk-free, call 1-800-291-5140. That's 1-800-291-5140. I guarantee your bright white smile will have your friends talking about how great you look. Try it risk-free today. 1-800-291-5140. That's 1-800-291-5140.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
Start training for a new career in as little as 18 days. National EMS Institute's innovative boot camp program will train you for a new career. Learn to respond to emergency situations and become a certified EMT in just 18 days. National EMS Institute guarantees 100% job placement. Visit www.nationaleMSinstitute.com today to learn more about our 18-day boot camp. Or call us at 1-800-497-6732. NationalEMSinstitute.com.
When you're ready to take the edge off a hectic day, I suggest you start with a little music from Franz Black.
I guess there's lots of ways to look at things that don't seem right.
No Worries has just been released on iTunes and Amazon.
It's gonna be alright.
You can find Friends Black and his music on his website, friendsblack.com. F-R-A-N-Z black.com.
It's gonna be alright.
If you are so inclined to call, again, if you do call, please understand that you will probably be put on hold, so don't hang up. Especially during the breaks. Had a few calls that came in, got put on hold, and you guys hung up. I don't know why that is, but you know, you're not disconnected. Obviously, you're not disconnected because you're the one hanging up. So don't hang up. Last caller. A prime example of what a good call is all about. Making me look. I didn't even solicit that. Came right in and really backed me up on what I was saying about college students, the millennials, not really thinking. And he had the wherewithal and the education, obviously, to actually start to think. And then he asked, his fellow students, well, how do you think Bernie's going to give you all this free stuff? I don't know. Well, I mean, that's a legit question. That is it. Well, actually, I've got this here. And that's simply because, look, we've got a whole generation that isn't growing up. Now, obviously, it's not 100%, but I believe that the majority of them, because you're watching them, you're listening to them, it's kind of, one of the things that I know, everybody likes Facebook. They really do. And I get why people like and hate and all that kind of stuff. But one of the things I have an issue with is I cannot listen to Mark Zuckerberg talk. Now, yeah, he's, as far as computers go, he's a brilliant kid. Well, he's not a kid. He's 30 years old. He's a brilliant young man when it comes to that type of stuff. But he's 30 years old, And the reason why I cannot listen to him when he talks is because he sounds like he's still in high school. And this is prevalent with a lot of people under 30. They sound like they're still in high school. They still have that high school verbiage, that high school cadence in their tone, in their voice, that speech pattern. It drives me insane. You're 30 years old. Grow up already.
Yes.
Real, you know what I'm saying? So we got a call here, 732. You're live on the air. Go ahead. What's on your mind?
Hi, my name is Rose Leszkowski.
Hi, Rose.
How are you doing?
Good. I am awesome.
Yes, so am I, and I'm from New Jersey.
New Jersey.
And New Jersey, and the only man I'm voting for is Donald Trump.
Oh wait, you're from New Jersey, and you're not supporting your own, Christie?
Absolutely, he's not mine. He's not mine. I just will tell you the God's honest truth that Donald Trump, I've watched him since I was 15 years old when I finally got a little bit of a brain. And I watched him build a magnificent business, children, family, the whole package, what we're missing in America today. I am sick and tired of this liberal bull that is going on right now. I have grandchildren. My heart is breaking and bleeding for seeing what is going on in this country. We're selling ourselves too short. We have to get back to reality. The juveniles got to get out of the White House. It's almost like Fresh Prince was living in there for the past 8 years. His reckless behavior is costing us lives. The poor people in Chicago were lied to for a very long time. I'm sick of it. Those poor children. There's so much and so much damage that has been done to our country, and it's time to stop the nonsense. The healing has to begin, and it's beginning right now with Donald Trump by giving us an opportunity to be able to speak to the American people. And this opportunity that you're giving me right now is so important, I can't even tell you. I have 2 grandchildren in the school system. Common Core is crap. I'm sorry to say it, and I'm going to say it plain, just like Mr. Trump does. He's not saying anything anybody else isn't thinking already. But the thing is, he had the opportunity and the fame to bring it to the foresight for every American to see. There's a test, a litmus test that you could take with this gentleman. Take a look at who he has helped. His mother, okay? There's newspaper articles all out there, all over the place. If people are smart, do your homework, do your research. History has proven him the whole time for the past 20, 30 years that you could see what a character he really is. And I'm not talking about a clown character, a character of man of greatness and things that will get done, not a promise. Not what Christie is a disaster in New Jersey. I am sorry to say that he is a disaster. Believe me. The teachers know it. The parents know it. Yes, he has some small qualities, but he doesn't get the job done. Donald Trump will get the job done. And there will be and everybody will be very, very happy. Very, very happy.
Now,
I'm sorry, but I'm sorry to go off on that and everything, but this is what I believe in my total heart. You need somebody that with a voice that is going to get the job done. I remember when they were ripping the money off left and right, and he did that skate. He said, let me do it. They didn't want him to do it. You know why? They didn't want to be showed up. That's why. He's shown up. They didn't want that to be done. Every time he takes a task at hand, he takes it serious. I have the same heart, okay? I have that same heart, and so does America, and that's why he's going to be a great president for us.
Now, a lot of people, including many on the left now, and I'm talking the regular, John and Jane Doe Democrat, not the elitist, that think now that Obama has been a racial divider. Do you think that Trump could be a racial uniter?
Absolutely. Absolutely. He doesn't care. Donald Trump gives nothing to credence to skin.
It has nothing to do with it. I don't. It comes down to, are you doing your best in life to succeed? Or are you just sitting there waiting to get a handout? That's what it comes down to. And that's where a major divide is. The Democrats have always, whether it's women, whether it's health care, I don't care what it is, everything is always divided with them. And they set it up that way because it's set up to fail on purpose so they could suck every nickel out of your pocket. Now, I know other Democrats that I've seen that are more centered, and they are fantastic. They keep it balanced. They keep it fair. And they do their best to do a good job. They don't go over that line. There is a line that you go over, and Obama has gone over it and beyond it. And it is very, very scary right now. And I can tell you, the kids are scared. The adults are scared. The drugs that ran in New Jersey. I live in a place, okay? I live in a place where kids could go play outside. Not anymore, because you're afraid that someone is going to be out there doing stuff, stealing. We've had thieves around like never before, okay? Drug people dying of drugs left and right. Now, I lived here all my life. There are 2 instances in this past year that were drug-related, and it had nothing to do with me, but it was a neighbor, and the person died on drugs, and then another one on the street, literally on the street. They were driving down the street, and they had a heart attack from the drugs. They gave him the Narcan and revived him. Okay? This is a war on the American people. That's how I see it. And I'm sure the American people see it too. We don't want to fight. We do. We're a very loving nation. We're very loving to the point where it's a fault right now. Okay? Donald Trump's not this big, bad, evil thing that everybody is putting him out to be. They're brushing him with one stroke. And the colleges, and I know because I have a son in college, and believe me, and my son's going to school to be a history teacher. And guess what we found out? The crap that they're feeding these college kids is absolutely despicable, disgusting, and a disgrace. And my son said he will never teach lies. He will only teach the American truth. Some people may not see it that way. And if they don't like it here in America, that's all well and good. They could pack their bags, and I'm not being this facetiously, I'm telling the truth. They could pack their bags and they could go live in the country that they like, whoever best represents them. But here, this is our values, these are our views, this is our heartland, America. People, wake up, please. I'm begging you.
Now,
please make America great again.
Live in what they call the tri-state area part of New Jersey, or do you live out in New Jersey?
I'm in New Jersey. I'm in the heart of it.
Okay, so you're outside
I'm in Central. I'm the closest thing I could tell you is Carteret.
You're outside of the so-called tri-state area. Then you're not in the suburbs of New York City. So
no.
When Cruz was saying that New York values, did you understand what he was saying, and were you offended by that?
I had no clue, but when I found out, that was it for me. I knew he was a little bit shady. I'm a very good read at people, and I knew he was a little bit shady because of the certain verbiage that he was using. And then, like I told you, I do my homework. I did my research and
looked Cruz where is a little bit shady?
Yes, he is. 100%, he's a little bit shady. And I could tell you because of how he votes and how he sees things. And then he'll say he's a fighter. He ain't a fighter. He's bought and paid just like the rest of them. They're all bought and paid. Obama, and this is true, and you think about this, leadership. Leadership lets everything trickle down, and then what you see at the top is what you get in your results down. Now, corruption has never been this obvious and this disgusting in this country ever. There might have been corruption, but it's blatant right now, and it's running rampant because that's what he's setting the precedent as. If you're breaking the rules as you're constitutionally that he does, well, then you're going to break the rules. Look what he's doing to the police. He has everybody. It's the God's honest truth. There is a few bad apples in every cart. There is. I don't care across the board, wherever you're going to see it. Whether it's here at home or it's abroad, there's always a few bad apples. But you don't brush the same stroke with everything. And that's what happens with him. And right away, one police officer equals the whole United States of America police force? No, I don't think so. People aren't dumb. They're not dumb. And Mr. Obama, the message I could give him is after he's done with I would go where he's going to do and keep his hands off of us, because he did not help Chicago. He promised those poor people. He did nothing. He didn't even go visit them. Did you hear of him going to visit them?
You know what? I can't remember the last time that Obama was in Chicago. You're absolutely right.
No, he hasn't been. I watch. I keep my eye to everything because it is important. I care about children. I am sick to death. New Hampshire, the kids dying off of this drugs, and it's coming from over the border. Now I'm going to go there, okay? Yes, we do have an issue with the border, and I'm not afraid to say it, and neither is anybody else. I work in a very multicultural area, and believe me, they don't want it here either. They don't. None of us do. We're all together on that one. No drugs for America. How about that? You're not even hearing that anymore. What happened to our DARE program? No DARE program. Nobody's saying drugs, alcohol, and smoking are bad. Who is? Donald Trump.
Thank you very much for the call, Rose. I really appreciate it. Let's see. Let's move on to 515. Are you there?
Yes, sir. Good morning, Mr. Rod Eccles. Ken Crow out here in the frozen tundra of Iowa.
Yes. Iowa is about to be, as it is every 4 years, right front and center of everything, of the entire American universe.
We are ground zero for a day, and we're proud of it. Anyway, I don't know if you had anybody call in yet about yesterday's events, but I was at one of those events, and I was at the first one with Aisha Wayne. As a matter of fact, I got to visit with her after her big endorsement of Donald Trump yesterday. I visited with her for about 15 minutes off in the corner of the museum, and it was a quite interesting conversation we had. She's a very, very lovely person. She's warm, she's gracious, she's very intelligent. And we talked about her dad for a little while, and then why she supported and why the Wayne family decided to do what they did, endorsing Donald Trump. I found it to be a very fascinating conversation. I was just wondering what your thoughts were. I weren't able to hear the first part of your show today, so I don't know what you were thinking about Sarah's big endorsement and her endorsement and all that, but it's going to flip Iowa. I can tell you now, Trump's going to win Iowa big. He will win.
Well, everybody, not a soothsayer or anything, but everybody kind of saw it coming. It was leaked early in the day that she was going to actually make the announcement to endorse Trump. But when I first heard it, I was kind of surprised because, she's been such a Cruz, I'm not going to say supporter, but one would be able to logically assume that she was a Cruz supporter because she always spoke highly of him and always seemed to be in his corner, way back last February of 2015. I remember her talking about Ted Cruz, when Ted Cruz was trying to stand up for the Constitution in America, always talking very, very wonderfully about Cruz. So I, like a lot of people, probably naturally assume that, if she was ever going, because she didn't decide that she was going to, endorse anybody. She was asked many times, especially back in August and September, and she just say. And so, but everybody assumed that it was not going to be a surprise that she comes Cruz. So I'm a little surprised by that. The news took me a little bit by surprise because I just knew that, when she was going to come out, it was going to be Cruz, and then I see this, But I'm thinking had to be something that happened because I'm telling you, I really firmly believe Sarah Palin was in the Cruz camp. Something happened that flipped her to Donald Trump. What do you think that is?
Well, I can pretty much tell you. If you ask me, if you put a gun to my head and say, Ken, you got to bet $100 on this. This is the way I would go with that. And I tend to agree with you. One of the things Sarah doesn't like doing is, I know Sarah, I know many of her people, and she's got a staff. She doesn't arbitrarily just come out and endorse. She actually has a couple of political wonks that work for her, and they sit down and they decide. They literally lay out on a table the pros and cons and the whereases and wherefores of who she needs to endorse. And there's a long process that goes into this. And then in the end, she'll get it down to one or two people, and then she goes with her gut. And I've been told this by her staff. That's what she does. And but she thinks this very, very clearly. And I have no doubt that she is trying to ensure that Trump or Cruz would win the general election. She is mortally terrified of Bernie or Hillary winning, and she selected Trump because she felt like he was the most likely candidate that with her assistance could win the general election. I've said from the beginning there's no way Cruz wins the general election. He can't pull Pennsylvania. He's not going to pull Ohio. And the only way he could pull Ohio would be to get Kasich, and I don't see that happening. So it's over. I mean, it's over. She had to go with Trump to ensure that the Republicans win this election because we can't afford another Democrat administration. That's my personal opinion. I could be dead wrong, but I really don't think I am.
Oh, all
because
good
she knew that with her help, he wins Iowa. It's over in Iowa. Trump will win Iowa in a landslide. Sarah, a lot of people don't realize this, but Sarah Palin in Iowa walks on water. This girl is beloved by nearly everybody in this state. They love her. And when she speaks, people in Iowa listen. And she will swing. I would dare to say that the next polling that comes out, you will see a 10-point swing. You will see Cruz plunge in the polls, and Donald picks up 10 points. It wouldn't surprise me a bit.
Caucus and primary is fast approaching, and I'm really looking forward to rolling. I think we've had a very long pregame.
Rod, I'm not picking up what you're saying, buddy. You're breaking up pretty badly.
Oh, okay,
I'm
I
missing
apologize.
a lot of what you're saying.
As I was saying, I'm looking forward. I know the caucus is coming in pretty soon. The primaries are starting pretty soon, so I'm looking forward to the actual game. The pregame stuff has been very long this year, and I'm looking for the actual game. And I think now it's a new dynamic. Now we're going to start to see more and more of people on the bench coming off the bench. Sarah Palin is one of the big ones, coming off the bench and getting behind a particular candidate. And I think you're right. That is, in some ways, that's gonna be a game changer. I'm not very familiar with the people of Iowa, but I do know you're right. I do know that they tend to like Sarah a lot out there. Well, the upper Midwest tends to like Republicans tend to like people like they have similar values. They really do.
See, Sarah, here's what kills Cruz in Iowa. Sarah, if you look up, and I'm using a metaphor here, and it's kind of flippantly, but if you flipped over the dictionary and looked up epitome of conservative. You're going to see Sarah Palin's picture there, right? I mean, she basically wrote the Tea Party manual, and she is the queen of the Tea Party. I mean, that's a given. So she is the mantra of conservatism for this country. Cruz has been running this campaign now for months on I'm the only true conservative in the race. He's spent, and his PACs have spent millions of dollars on this Cruz being the conservative, right? The only true Reagan conservative in the PAC. Well, now here comes the queen of conservatism saying, no, not so much. I like Donald. We're going to go with Donald, you betcha. And I think it hammers him. And then yesterday you had our governor come out and say, vote for anybody but Cruz because he doesn't like ethanol. I think he's done. And if Cruz can't carry Iowa, it's over for him because we know Trump's going to win New Hampshire. Trump's going to kill South Carolina. He's going to wipe out Nevada. He's going to win Florida. It's over. I mean, it's over. There's no point in there that Cruz can recover and get back the kind of donation money that he's going to need to fight Donald Trump. I think it's over, Rod. I could be wrong, but I think it's over.
Well, some very, very good information there, and it's some very great points. Getting close to another break. I do thank you for your call. Give a call back anytime.
Thank you, Rod. Enjoy it, sir. Appreciate
Thank you. Where are all the other candidates' supporters? I know there are a bunch of Cruz supporters out there listening to this. So give a call. You can call too. What it seems like right now is this is a Cruz and Trump show, and quite frankly, makes sense because the two of them together have slightly more than 50% of the support of the party. And if you juggernauts in the room right now, and they have to hammer it out, and it's going to be I guess we'll soon in Iowa and in New Hampshire. Stick around, folks.
Give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Sign him up for the Box of Bait Club and he'll never be hungry again. The Box of Bait Club is a brand new dream come true for every fisherman. Something new and different in your tackle box every month. Every month, another excuse to get outside and do what you love. Don't let this one get away. The Box of Bait Club is currently accepting a limited number of pre-orders with subscriptions starting at $39.95 per month. Find out more now. Log on to boxofbaitclub.com.
I'm just so happy my father had a chance to see his kids before he passed. I just want to say thank you.
When her father fell ill, the American Red Cross was able to help get Veronica's brother home from the Navy to speak to his father one last time. It's thanks to your donations that we can connect military families when they need it most. Please donate today at redcross.org.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. And then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-616-8010. That's 1-800-616-8010. Again, 1-800-616-8010. Call now.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich? Working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare? Having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom133.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom133.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom133.com. Go to freedom133.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom133.com.
Attention business owners. We know that owning a business means getting things done right now. So if your right now list includes a new building, call the Right Now Company. General Steel. We can design a building for your business quickly and save you thousands of dollars. That's right, thousands. You may think General Steel only builds large projects or that you can't afford General Steel quality. Well, check these prices. How about a 40 by 60 foot building for under $22,000? Or even a 50 by 100 for under $35,000? That's right, a 5,000 square foot building for under $35,000. And these buildings all have General Steel quality. Best of all, you can still order a building and have it delivered in time to build this year. How's that for right now? So if your right now list includes a new building, call the Right Now Company, General Steel.
800-393-5756. 800-393-5756. 800-393-5756. That's 800-393-5756.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
Boy, man, I had a rough night's sleep. Boy, I got a letter from the IRS yesterday and I just couldn't sleep. Man, I'm dying here. Somebody help me.
IRS problems affect more than just your finances. If you're ready to take back control of your life and you owe more than $10,000, you need to call the tax doctor. Their expert staff can immediately protect you from the IRS and state collectors and get you the best possible tax settlement guaranteed. The IRS has recently released new programs geared in helping struggling taxpayers, where you may qualify to settle your tax debt and wipe out up to 85% or more of what you currently owe. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, call the tax doctor right now. See if you qualify to pay less. 800-989-1694. 800-989-1694. 800-989-1694. Again, 800-989-1694.
You want to know what time it is? It's time to bring the rain.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
Coming to you live from my bunkerized home studio somewhere within the great Granite State of New Hampshire, where the state motto is still live free or die. It is not big government or bust. Here on this Hump Day, Wednesday, January the 20th in the year of our Lord 2016, as we roll along into our number 3. Had some great calls in the past couple of hours, which is absolutely wonderful. Thank you all for picking up the phone. 603-835-3224 is the call-in number, especially, because a lot of the other candidate supporters are I know you're out there. You're being silent. Well, I don't know, maybe you guys are being converted over into into the Trump camp like Palin was, because, I'm not the only person who just absolutely knew that Palin was going to come down on the side of Cruz. And I gotta... one can only wonder, what Cruz is really feeling about that. And I understand what a lot of people are saying about Cruz. Yeah, he could really rack up the evangelical vote. Unfortunately, I know some people are going to say, well, it's not all about religion, Rod. I know. But yeah, he could really Trump. In the primaries, Trump may have an issue with garnering the evangelical vote. I get that, and Cruz could very easily get that. But unfortunately, the evangelicals are not in states that are going to give Cruz the nod. They're not in New York. They're not in California. Evangelicals are not in Texas and Florida and Ohio. Evangelicals are not in New England. They're not in Illinois. These are areas that Cruz is going to have to win in order to get the nomination. And then he's going to have to translate those into wins in the general election. Trump can do that. I can see that. I know some people are saying, well, geez, Rod, that means that... No, I'm not... It's not impossible for Cruz to win those states. But during the primary process, I think it's going to be more difficult. Now, if he gets the nomination, yes, indeed, I can see Cruz winning Florida. I can see him, he might have a tough time. Well, no, I can see him winning Pennsylvania. He's going to have a tough time in California and New York and half of the New England states. I really see that. If Bernie Sanders is the nominee for the Democrats, then Cruz cannot win Vermont. However, if Hillary is the nominee for the Democratic Party, Cruz can very well win Vermont. And he can win New Hampshire and Maine. Where he would have problems is Connecticut, Rhode Island, and Massachusetts. I know, Sanders is from Vermont, but by far, the 3 southern New England states are by far the most liberal in the region. They really are. And Maine is trying to make a conservative comeback. It's going to be a struggle for them. I understand that, but they're trying to. Excuse me. And Vermont still has a lot of conservative values. There's no gun licensing really in Vermont. And that would locking people's ability to get a gun down is very liberal. Well, that you can't. I don't see anybody. Not even Sanders really is talking about taking people's guns away in Vermont. Sanders isn't even really a gun control advocate as much as the other Democrats are, and that's because he's from Vermont. He can't. So there is still a sense of conservatism in the state of Vermont, even though they've been going since just before Howard Dean. They've been going liberal. But they still have a certain sense of conservatism. Now, the southern 3 states, Massachusetts, Connecticut, and Rhode Island, those are pretty much lost causes. I mean, they're going to be ultra liberal for the next generation. They really are. I don't see that changing. Although Massachusetts did elect a Democratic governor, or excuse me, a Republican governor. But they've had Romney too, and a few others, but they're not really conservative people. They're more in line with the blue blood, moderate type of Republican. Okay, but I don't see them going conservative, at least for another generation. And we're talking another 20, 30 years. It's just not. It's not. Then look what they're doing in Connecticut. Even though some of the people are starting to wake up over there, and they realize that the economy in Connecticut is behind the eight ball, and they know it's behind the eight ball, but they keep doubling down on their ultra liberal policies, making it worse. People are leaving Connecticut, and it's kind of like California. And what they're doing is, instead of saying, "Okay, what are we doing wrong? Let's try something new." No, Connecticut and California are doubling down on their stupid policies. It's just it's unbelievable, unbelievable. Well. There you go. One of the things I need to do right now is to clean. I don't like to leave loose ends for the show, so I got to clean up my thoughts on not growing up in America. Right. So right now we've got a bunch of people in America that have not grown up. Now, technically speaking, by their age, they're legally adults, but they haven't grown up. And as I've mentioned, I can't listen to Mark Zuckerberg, who's the CEO, founder, blah, 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 of Facebook, because he's 30 years old. Well, he may be, he's over 30 now, right? He's 30 at least. 30, one of the youngest self-made billionaires on the planet. And he sounds like he's still in high school when he talks. But he's not the only one. If you listen to millennials, I can tell almost instantly when I'm talking to somebody under the age of 30 that they are under the age of 30. Simply because of their speech pattern and how they sound and their maturity level. It's awful. Now, you would expect in this day and age that an 18 or 19-year-old would still, going just off to college, the first time that they've been away from mommy and daddy, you would expect them to still be a little immature, still high schoolish. But by the time they become college seniors and they get into graduate school, now you're talking 22 years old, 24, 25, you would expect to hear and see at least some modicum of maturity. I'm not seeing it. And that's also being reflected in a lot of our media, our television and programs, and our movies. This is one of the reasons why I don't watch a lot of TV. But I'm watching some of these programs that are geared towards the millennials, and these people that are these people on these shows that are geared towards millennials, they're immature as well, and it's not like the TV sitcom Friends. It's not, although that was, a couple of the people on it's one thing to have, an airhead on your TV show, on your sitcom. A lot of sitcoms have had one person. They've had the token airhead. Now, Friends was a little different, that they didn't have one token airhead. They had two main character airheads. Well, that was a first. And it's only gotten worse to the point now when you can watch some sitcoms and it seems like the entire main cast are airheads. And now now it's gotten to the point where it seems like you have the token smart mature person. And that token smart mature person is looked down upon as being boring and stodgy and old-fashioned. And this is what our millennial generation is growing up with. This is what they're seeing. I mean, folks, if you think I'm wrong, just pay attention to, cable network. You've got Nickelodeon. Nickelodeon gears its nighttime programming to millennials. It's a cartoon channel. The Cartoon Network does the same thing. Well, I think it's called Boomerang now or something, right? It does the same thing. You get past 5 or 6 p.m. and they switch over and start gearing they're not gearing towards, the baby boomers or Generation X. They're gearing their programming towards the not yet grown up adults of the millennials. And this is carrying straight. Now, we're getting to the point where these kids are starting to approach 30. You got the first wave, if you will, who are now just, getting over the hump of 30. They're now 31, 32, 33. And yet they're still acting like they're in high school. This is a huge problem. This is a major problem. So now, not only do we have the dumbing down of this country through our educational system, now we have this Peter Pan syndrome, which is really a real thing now. And it was brought about by, I hate to say it, it was, one of the things that that you'll see in a lot of sociology classes and Psych 101. There is a generation that is considered to be the adult generation. And I'm not talking about the World War II generation. They're unfortunately, they're starting to die off. And I know that they have that generation has huge regrets of what they did with the baby boomer generation. It was a success of the country, and they thought that they would, because each successive generation always worked hard to let, the parents wanted their children's lives to be better than their life. And that carried over into the 20th century. Into mid-20th century, right after World War II, those parents, continuing what their parents had did, thought the same thing. I want my kids' lives to be better than even mine. And mine wasn't so bad as a kid. I want my kids' lives to be even better than mine. So they worked their butts off. The greatest generation worked their butts off, and they kind of spoiled their kids. First time that people could actually do that. There's nothing wrong with it. The problem is that the baby boomers then entered the 60s and 70s and said, you know what? We kind of like being spoiled. We don't really want to grow up. Now, in the 80s, they were kind of forced to grow up. But what they remembered was, hey, I really being young. I really, because previous generations, they move throughout their stages proudly. Their stage in life proudly. Okay, I'm in my teens now. I'm a teenager. Yay. College, yay, college is done. I'm in my 20s. Yeah, now is the time to really, start to buckle down, think about the family and that type of thing, get a job. And then the 30s, now you're in your 30s. Now is the time to really, really work hard. But the baby boomers didn't think that way. They got into their 20s and they're like, I like being a kid. They get in their 30s. Man, I wish my kid days, my 20s, teens and 20s could last forever. They get in their 40s. Man, I look and feel kind of older. I wonder if I can get back to my 20s. And they get in their 50s and 60s. I don't like this dying thing, man. I want to live forever. I just want to be youthful forever. But at least they did grow up. But the problem is that they passed that mentality and then doubled down on it to their kids, which are the millennials, who are now perpetual youth. I mean, and our society has gone that way. If you look at our entertainers, I mean, all you got is I call it the Disney effect. I mean, every time you turn around, look, you've got. Let me give you an example. Justin Bieber. How old? Justin Bieber's what? 22 now. He's on his way out because he's too old. We have this perpetual ultra youth, and we've got the mainstream who's perpetuating it. We've got the kids who aren't being educated properly, who are not thinking about anything, who are thinking, yeah, it's just cool to be 16 forever, man. I'm going to be 16 forever. And now they're approaching 30, and they still have that 16-year-old mentality. without an education. I mean, it's one thing to have a smart thinking 16-year-old, but how about a 16-year-old that's an airhead? They think they know everything, and yet they know nothing. When you press them and ask them a question, they give you a pat, learned answer. And then when you try to dig deeper below the surface, they go, I don't know. And they're proud to say, I don't know. There's no thought. And of course, that's part of Common Core, where all you're doing is teaching to the test. Memorization. There's no critical thinking skills. It's all about memorization. So these kids are basically memorizing an answer to a question, but then when you get beyond that question, they haven't been taught. They haven't been taught the answer beyond that basic question, and they haven't been taught to think. They just go look at you, shrug their shoulders, and go, I don't know. And they don't care that they don't know. Hey, man, that's too deep. No, I just want to go back and play video games. I've had 20-somethings tell me that. You know, you're trying to talk to them, and they're like, "Yeah, I don't." Look, man. That's okay. You know, they want to do that. No big deal. I'm just going to sit here and play games all day long. I don't know what the answer is. Oh. I don't know. 347. You're live on the Rod Eccles Show. Go.
Oh, am I?
You are.
We could just talk about Trump.
Everybody else has. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Well, I just wanted to say that I'm black. Well, I'm quote unquote black. I don't identify as black. I never understood the whole black thing, and I'm glad that Trump is running, and that not that we're going to talk about these issues, but
wait. Time out. You say you're black, but you don't identify as black?
No, because I think it's a total ripoff. I think race is a ripoff, and like I think people are using race to like try to steer the conversation politically, and I think it's so wrong. And I'm glad Donald Trump is running because they can't use that on him. They can't use it. They're trying to call him a racist, but he's not a racist. I'm black, and I'm also gay, and I support him. And apparently, I'm a unicorn, which is unfair. It's unfair. They're trying to make me a Democrat. I don't want to be a Democrat. I don't want to be a Republican.
Well, you do know that there is the log cabin group is our conservative gays, right?
Yeah, I've heard of them, but
okay. Do you know that they were also the reason why Don't Ask, Don't Tell was eliminated from the military? It wasn't Democrats that did that. It was the log cabin group.
Oh, really? I've heard of them, but I haven't really done much research on them because their Twitter is like non-existent. And I just haven't gotten to YouTubing them, but I'll look them up one day. But
okay, so
I'm glad that
now this is it. Hold on, now this is indicative. See, you didn't know that, and you are a gay man.
Yeah.
All right, and but now, have you always been on the Republican side, or did you grow up as a Democrat?
No. I've just recently. Ever since Black Lives Matter started burning down CVS's, I've gotten involved in researching politics, and I researched Obama, and I found out so much information about how unqualified he was to be president. How unqualified! I just cannot believe. I'm 30 years old, and my whole life has gone by, and all of this has been happening right under my nose. And because I didn't have cable television, I didn't know about it.
So basically, this is the millennial instant access, which is social. So you were cut off from what you perceived as your information systems, and you didn't realize what Obama really was. You didn't know about the Republican log cabin group.
Like growing up as a kid, I was never allowed to watch certain channels. And once I got out on my own, I didn't have internet because I couldn't afford it. I didn't have cable because I couldn't afford it. And once I got on the welfare program, I was able to get all these things. And then next thing you know, it was 2015. I have cable, and I'm looking at CNN and finding out all this political information that I just didn't know about. I didn't know all of this. And this is the problem with the rest of the world. They don't know. They're so busy with their lives that they just don't know.
And now that you've come about and you've been able to do your homework and some research, and you've figured out that Donald Trump is really the right way to go, and not Hillary Clinton or Bernie Sanders.
No, absolutely not. You cannot trust these politicians because at the end of the day, there's somebody that's going to be giving them money, telling them this to do, that to do, and you just cannot trust them. Donald Trump is not that person. Granted, who knows? He might be that person, but from what I can see, from what I can tell, from listening and listening to him talk and watching him speak, he doesn't come across as this person that's gonna like kind of do what the Democrats do, like watch their words and say the politically correct nice thing, and it's just horrible, the political process, and people are just so brainwashed by it that the gays will not vote for that. Well, some gays are going with Donald Trump, but most are not going with Donald Trump. They're just not.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of, I guess the behind Hillary Clinton, who actually was an LGBT community fan for a long time. So now, I'm kind of now. I you know what this show is about, right? You know,
no, I don't.
Okay, you don't. Do you know how I am classified, and I bill myself? What my moniker is?
What is that?
I'm the coolest, most politically incorrect conservative black man on the planet.
Awesome.
Now,
are you really black though?
There you go. See, I get that all the time. Yes, well, I'm also part Native American, but yes, I am African American, as the term is. But I'm curious. I'm curious if now I know the younger generation is a lot less racist than previous generations, and we can see this by the way you guys are coupling up. You don't really care, but at the same time, everybody still has their own personal self-identity. So, and it's not a racist thing to portray yourself by your ethnic.
It is racist. If I call myself black, that's racist. I think if you speak in terms of race, period, it's racist. It doesn't matter if you have power. It doesn't matter if you're saying if you're using hate speech. If you mention race, period, that's racist because it doesn't exist. Black and white, it doesn't exist.
We're all human. That's it.
Right. We're all human. But you can't get this through to a racist. They can't process it. I have a racist friend, and I try to tell him this all the time, and he just doesn't get it. He just agrees to disagree.
All right. Thank you for the call. I'm up against a hard break here. Thanks. Call anytime. Get your friends to call in, too, especially if they're gay. Love to talk to them. Thanks very much.
I will. Thanks.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. And then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-616-8010. That's 1-800-616-8010. Again, 1-800-616-8010. Call now.
Did you ever look at the stains in your coffee cup and then realize that's exactly what happens to your teeth? Power Swabs is the 5-minute solution to get your teeth white without visiting the dentist. This is Ben Gordon with Power Swabs, and if your teeth are stained from coffee, tea, or smoking, all it takes is 5 minutes with Power Swabs. In 5 minutes, you'll see an average of 2 shades whiter teeth, and in 7 days, 6 shades. It's clinically proven to whiten natural teeth as well as caps and veneers. The secret is a tooth detergent that was developed by Dr. Martin Ginniger that lifts stains off of your teeth. Best of all, there's no messy strips or trays that you have to leave in your mouth for an hour. Just swab your teeth for 5 minutes and you're done. To try Power Swabs risk-free, call 1-800-291-5140. That's 1-800-291-5140. I guarantee your bright white smile will have your friends talking about how great you look. Try it risk-free today. 1-800-291-5140. That's 1-800-291-5140.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
Start training for a new career in as little as 18 days. National EMS Institute's innovative boot camp program will train you for a new career. Learn to respond to emergency situations and become a certified EMT in just 18 days. National EMS Institute guarantees 100% job placement. Visit www.nationaleMSinstitute.com today to learn more about our 18-day boot camp. Or call us at 1-800-497-6732. NationalEMSinstitute.com.
When you're ready to take the edge off a hectic day, I suggest you start with a little music from Franz Black.
I guess there's lots of ways to look at things that don't seem right.
No Worries has just been released on iTunes and Amazon.
It's gonna be alright.
You can find Franz Black and his music on his website, franzblack.com. F-R-A-N-Z black.com.
It's gonna be alright.
Still L Rod coming to you live. 603-835-3224 is the number. Looks like a lot of people have a lot to say, probably about Donald Trump. We've got another call on the line. 828, you're live on the Rod Eccles Show. Go.
Hi, I'm a huge supporter of Donald Trump. I believe that he really can turn things around in the economy, and his boisterous attitude is getting people really hyped up and new voters. I believe that he can really help the situation in our country and our economy. I really believe in Donald Trump, and I support Donald Trump 100%. North Carolinian.
Well, let me ask you this: are you a registered Republican right now?
Yes, I certainly am. March 3rd, early voting here.
Well, the reason why I ask is, seems to be a lot of Democrats and independents who are jumping onto the Trump train, as it were. So I just wondered if you were always on the Republican side, or if you were more like what some people refer to as Reagan Democrats.
Well, I did vote for Ronald Reagan, and I did not vote for Obama. I don't even know how that happened. Let's just hope that this is all a legit election this time, okay? That's all I got to say for that. Donald Trump is the man. He can do it.
And then what made you go towards Trump instead of, say, Cruz or Rubio or any of the others?
There's something about Trump that I trust. And ever since, he's about 10, 15 years older than me. Ever since, I knew about him when I was a teenager. He's a very smart man. And if he is really going to work and help our country, he's a true American that can do it, These other guys, I don't know. I don't trust them too much. And Cruz, man, he wasn't born here. I ain't going for all that. Again, not trusting it.
All right. Thank you very much for the call.
Thank you.
Fine. Not going to have a problem with it. 719, you're live on the Rod Eccles Show. Go.
Hello.
Hello, you're on.
Oh, thank you. You're breaking up a little bit. So I understand you're taking calls about Donald Trump this morning.
I'm taking calls about everybody, but most people seem to be calling about Trump. Yeah, what's on your mind?
Oh, well, great. Well, I just wanted to voice my opinion. Donald Trump, of course, in my opinion, is the only one that can take our country back from especially Obama and Hillary Clinton. I'm 62 years old, and I have seen the destruction of our country. And we have so many people that are homeless, out of work, and I am very angry about the immigration situation here. I live in Colorado Springs, Colorado, with our beautiful military here, and we are all absolutely fed up with what's going on. And I just wanted to put my 2 cents in this discussion, and I hope that he is our next president.
Sounds great. Thank you very much for giving me a call. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you for having us.
All right. Bye-bye. A lot of people are firmly in the Trump camp, folks. So right ahead and support him. Can understand the wonderful feelings that people have for Trump. Very understandable. He's a breath of fresh air. Like I've said this before, that I am so glad that he is in the race, even if he does not get the nomination. I'm glad that he was, because he's upset the political apple cart. And once you've done that, it's going to be a while before it goes back to the way it used to be. He's changed the political discourse in this country for a long period of time, and he's politically incorrect. Although I got to tell you something, that last gentleman that called, the young man at 30, he's pushing me to up my game on the political incorrectness. Let's face it, he's a millennial. He's gay, and he's black. And he's not considering himself black because he thinks race is racist, is racism in and of itself. He's gay, so he's not following the Democratic line about what it means to be gay. He's educating himself. He knows he didn't know stuff, so he's out there teaching himself and learning about it. And he's still going for a Republican, Donald Trump. I don't know. It's going to be hard to be to be more politically incorrect than that. I got to tell you that's good to see. It almost kind of makes me think that there's a little bit of hope for the American people. If we have more young people, millennials like that guy, there may be some hope. Some real hope, not the hope and change. Keep hope alive from Jesse Jackson, but some real. And I guess what happens as everything starts to come down to the wire as far as the primaries are concerned. This is what a hump day. Gotta tell you, I'm very pleased with all the. I'm just still wondering where all the other supporters are, though. Look, don't think this is not the Trump show. I know some of you out there who are thinking that, they got a bunch. You know what? These are people that are honest enough to give it a shot and call in. So if you are a Cruz supporter or anybody else, you better start calling in because, Trump supporters are calling all over the place. So you guys better start calling in. So we got 716. You're on the Rod Eccles Show. Go.
Hello?
Hello, you're on. Go.
Yes, my name is Marshall, and I'm supporting Donald Trump. I'm an immigrant from Africa, and I love what he's saying. He's a principled man, a very powerful man, and I'm all in for him.
You're an immigrant from Africa. Where in Africa are you from?
I'm from the Republic of Congo.
Now, you're coming here and you're saying that you are behind Donald Trump. Now, what? Obviously, you're black. If you're most likely you're from the Congo, so you're a black man. Why would you go for Donald Trump over any of the other candidates?
That's because I've been watching the politics since 2001. I watched George Bush being elected. Then in 2008, Obama came in power. Just the way the media treated Obama, I was just sick of it. So since then, I decided to start watching Fox News. And when Donald Trump came on board, I just decided this is the man. Because he tells it as it is. And I like what he's saying.
Obviously, you did not support Obama.
I did not. And I will never.
We got something
I came from a country where you can see the media is for the government all the time. So I know for sure what the media can do to just convince people to go with the government. So when I came to the United States, I was for once was refreshing to see that actually people can vote their voice against the government. So I lean towards the Republican because I think that's the best way you can get things done, and especially give freedom to people. So everybody supporting Bernie Sanders don't really understand what socialism means. The Republic of Congo was a socialist country for a long, long time. Everything is government directed. So there is nothing you can get done. There is no way for people to be creative, to do things. So the United States is very, very lucky to have such a system where people can actually go out there and make a living. And Donald Trump is proof of it.
Great. Specific answers on that one. Thank you very much for your call, my friend. And I guess welcome to the Trump train.
Okay, thank you. All the way.
A lot of diversified support for Donald Trump. Well, look, there's the proof right there, folks. I mean, it's just this whole notion that Trump is a racist, I think, has just been debunked. And that was debunked before because look, you got those two wonderful ladies, Diamond and Silk. They're sisters, by the way, that have been Trump supporters for a long time. Love watching their videos. Those two are hilarious, and they're so wonderful to watch and listen to. But there have been polls back in September. I think it was NBC did a poll, and 25% of the African American voters at the time said that they supported Donald Trump. And I think that look, if you can, all Donald Trump really has to do to really upset the Democratic apple cart is on Election Day. Now, just fast forward to November 2016, and he's the nominee, Republican nominee. All he has to do to really upset the Democratic apple cart is to pull 5 to 7% of the black vote. 5 to 7%. Because, if he gets over that 5%, Democrats are done. Because when you get 95 to 98% of African Americans always voting Democrat, and you start eroding that, Democrats are done. They're done. We got 760. You're live on the Rod Eccles Show. Go.
Yes.
Yes, go ahead.
I'm for Trump.
Okay, and why are you for Trump?
Because I think that he's for America. And I think he's the only one that is truly for America. He's not bought and paid for. He's not a corrupt politician. And I truly believe he's the only one that will put Americans back to work. And he's the only one that truly is for us.
Now, I'm getting this.
He's for the people.
Yeah, I'm getting this theme about Trump about being not bought and paid for, but that's assuming that Cruz and Carson are bought and paid for.
I don't believe Carson's bought and paid for. He's a great man. I believe he's a great man. Politics are mean, and he just can't do it.
Okay,
I think he would be great somewhere in the government, and he'd do a great job. He can't win. He doesn't have. He can't do it. Politics are just too mean, and Trump can do this.
But you think
he can fight the establishment, and it's going to be a mean fight, and he can do it.
But you think
and
that Cruz
Carson just
is bought
can't.
and paid for?
He just can't.
But Cruz is bought and paid for in your mind?
No. Oh yeah, Cruz. No, Cruz maybe. Yeah, he has. Yes, Robert Mercer. He owes somebody. Of course he does. Of course he does.
Okay. So Trump.
Of course he does.
Trump is clean and clear. Well, hey, that is Trump is.
Trump doesn't need anybody's money. He doesn't need fame. He doesn't need power. I think he's had it with the corruption. He's had it seeing Americans go down the toilet. I think he's had it seeing his fellow citizens being destroyed. I think he's had it. I think he's seen it for years, and he sees Americans suffering, and they are suffering. Middle America's suffering.
So we got another Trump supporter. All right.
Yeah,
thank you very much.
Absolutely, and I know lifetime Democrats that are going to vote for him, and they would never have voted for a Republican ever.
So you're a Democrat?
Ever. No, I'm a lifetime Republican, but I know Democrat friends that are going to support him, and they would never have ever voted for a Republican, ever. I also know people who are 50-some years old and have never voted, and they've registered, and they're going to vote for him. He's going to win.
He is definitely.
It's going to be a landslide.
Well, if he's a nominee, I hope it is a landslide. I really do.
It will be. It will be. I have no doubt.
I
have no doubt in my mind. None.
Thank you for your call. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Look, I am personally. I believe if whoever the Republican nominee is, if they actually are not afraid to go after the Democratic nominee, they actually tell the tale, the true tale, and tie whoever it is, even if it's Sanders, tie them to Barack Hussein Obama. Then whoever is the Republican nominee, it will be a landslide in their victory. I believe that plain and simple. That is what's going to have to. They're going to. I don't think Trump would be afraid to take off the gloves. Really, I don't think Cruz would be afraid to take off the gloves. I think there are other Republicans that they might, if it's Hillary, they might want to keep the gloves on because she's a woman, and I get the whole chivalry type of thing. Would Rubio take off the gloves? I think if he were forced to, he would, but I don't think he'd do it on his own. Let's get one more call here. 678, you're live on the Rod Eccles Show.
Hi there.
Hi.
Yes. Oh, wow. Time delayed.
Yeah, go.
All right. Hang on a second, Rod. I think a lot of people are missing something about Trump, is that he has brought a lot of excitement back to politics that we haven't had since Reagan. And while I don't necessarily compare him to Reagan, if you ever go to a Trump rally, it's like the air literally gets sucked out of the room, and you're just in total awe of what's happening, because these rallies, and I've been to 2 of them, are unbelievably energized. And you just can't believe what you're seeing. It's just amazing. The first rally I went to, there were thousands of cars just trying to find a place to park. And hundreds and hundreds of people just march. It's like a big march. And it's just fantastic. And it's just so exciting when you're in that room. People are just energized, and that's what no other candidate has brought that to the table.
No, this is true. He definitely has changed politics, and he's brought some excitement back to a very stuffy, staid, and boring profession, if you want to call it a profession.
That's the thing. When he announced, when I saw his announcement, it was like something just turned on. You know, he turned on the switch. It's like, everybody pay attention, Trump's running. And we got all these other dudes that are in the race that they don't make me happy. I mean, I like them, but they don't make me excited. I went to the second rally in South Carolina, and I got there early, and I got to be on the front rope line. And when Trump came down, I thought he was going to go back the other way, and instead he came down on our side, and he started walking the line. I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm going to get to meet this guy and shake his hand. And sure enough, I did, and it was just an amazing time. And it's just one of the first in a lifetime experience that I've ever had anything like this in politics, and I'm like 55 years old. So
now let me ask you: Have you always been a Republican?
Yeah, I was raised Republican, you know. but yeah, I mean, originally before Trump was going to run, I was thinking, okay, Cruz or Rubio, because they were the supposed Tea Party people. And but I tell you what, the campaign has really opened up my eyes about the truth about those two. And thanks to Donald Trump, we're seeing the truth.
Well, that's what political campaigns are all about. Is you're supposed to be able to get the truth out there so people fully understand who they're voting for. Unfortunately, we didn't get that with Barack Obama. No. And the politicos and the press call it vetting, and they didn't vet Obama. But they vetted the hell out of every Republican. And again, this year, the mainstream media is vetting the hell out of the Republicans, but they're ignoring. They're even trying to vet Bernie Sanders a little bit, but they're kind of ignoring Hillary. I don't know. So well, we know they're in the tank for Hillary. Let's face it, the mainstream media is in the tank for Hillary Clinton. We got it. That's why Bernie Sanders is having such a hard time over there. But even with that, you would expect that he should be a nobody, but he's giving her a run for the money even now. So I don't.
Well, I think they're probably polling university students. Who knows?
He is pulling a lot of the millennials, a lot of the under 30 set. That is true. And Trump is obviously he's getting from what I'm getting today, he's getting a broad spectrum of support from all the voting age generations. So that's a good sign for him. It really is.
Well, I'm going to tell you, there's a big misnomer going around in the mainstream media right now, and it's the fact that Trump voters are stupid people. And I'll tell you what, I'm in the home services industry, and all of my customers are over 100K earners. All of them, or just about all of them, are college grads. And we're talking about people from 30 to retired. And every time they see the stickers on my truck for Trump, they're like, wow, I like your stickers. And we always get into conversations about what's going on. And it's just amazing. People think this is a joke. And
well,
it's not.
yeah, they're still trying to portray Trump as a joke, but look, did you hear the excuse me? Did you hear the millennial man, the millennial gay man who basically said, you know what? I didn't know anything, and I went and looked it up. That sounds like an intelligent person to me, not a stupid person.
Yeah, I've got a lot of gay customers, and they've done the same thing, and they're voting for Trump. So, hey. But anyway, I just want to get that off my chest, and I appreciate you taking my call, sir.
Thank you very much for the call. Got a lot of positivity surrounding the Donald, and that's not a negative. And I think these some of these people have definitely put to rest this idea of Republicans being stupid, uneducated, and uninformed. It's just the opposite. I think we've proven time and time again that it's the left that tends to be ignorant and uninformed. And look, I'm not endorsing anybody. I still have not made up my mind, but I do thank everybody who called and supported in support of Trump. But look, I can't deny I like the guy. I still like Cruz. I know that there are some. Look, I got issues with every single candidate. You do the Ben Franklin thing. You do the good stuff and the bad stuff. The good points and the bad points. They've all got a number of good points, and they've all got a number of bad points. Now, some of them have more bad points than good points, but again, it's a process that I'm going through myself. I'm glad that people are behind who they are behind and supporting who they are supporting.